Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast, where it's all about turning your unique talents and perspectives into a viable business. And now, your host, Paris Hamilton.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Paris Hamilton, and today I have a special guest with me, Chris Miller. So he's one of the top personal trainers in South Carolina, and he owns his own business in the fitness and nutrition space. He definitely fits the description of a creative entrepreneur, so I'm pleased to have him here with us today and that he can take time out of his busy schedule to speak with us. In this particular episode, I want to discuss the impact of exercise on mental and emotional health, and maybe even touch on some things you can do or even eat to keep your mental health at its best. I know that as entrepreneurs, a lot of us maybe neglect exercise from time to time and focus a lot on whatever project that we have in front of us. So I think this is definitely a very relevant episode and topic for any entrepreneurs out there. So I'll go ahead and jump right in. Chris, I'll let you go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, kind of what you do as well.
That's no problem. My name is Chris Miller. I'm based out of the upstate of South Carolina, and I do a little work in Georgia. Right now, just pretty much really basically South Carolina. I've been training for almost 10 years. I know I sound pretty young, but pretty much fresh out of school, I've been training since then. My focus has transitioned from just training to also the nutrition aspect, to the lifestyle aspect, to the order aspect, to the time aspect. So whatever client I have, I try to focus on their weaknesses to make them stronger. Anything that I also try to incorporate as many people as possible in my network to kind of learn as much as possible. And I think that's very important too. Because one thing about the fitness industry is that it grows so much and it's so fast. So what we have to do is understand what exactly we can do as far as educating clients and, prospect, anybody in general. That's pretty much my background. Yeah.
Right. And for those listening, I met Chris. I actually did some personal training sessions with him in Greenville a few years ago, like before I moved to Philadelphia and then came back to South Carolina. But he was very attentive as far as the kind of weaknesses that I may have had in the moment and kind of what type of exercise and stuff that I should have focused on personally. So, he's a great trainer. He even mentioned some things about nutrition that kind of went over my head, like, what are you talking about? Never heard this before. But I don't think I told him that in the moment. But definitely a great resource, so I'm glad to have him here. So I'll go ahead and jump right on into some of what we're going to talk about today. So as we know, getting the proper exercise is more than about keeping your body in shape. It's about emotional and mental well-being also. So if you're going to be successful in life in any aspect, you need to make sure your body is healthy and can keep up with your ambitions. If you don't take care of yourself physically, then you won't be able to accomplish the goals that you set for yourself. Honestly, I know we all have someone in this life that we care about. Most of us even have more than one person, but keeping yourself healthy isn't even just about you. It's about those that you love as well. And neglecting your own health can also affect not only your business, but your circle, like the people around you, people that love you. So I kind of pause there. And Chris, if you have anything you wanted to add, let me know.
Actually, I'm spoke on something that's actually pretty deep. That's actually having a person that you're connected with that actually motivates you to do what you need to do. It can be kids, it can be family, it can even be your business partner. That creates kind of accountability, but at the same time, it takes the physical aspect out of what you're doing. What happens with our age groups, we focus on everything that's so physical. But I know that's pretty easy to do with all the visual things that we get every day from Instagram, Facebook, all these different outlets that pretty much tell us how we should look and how we're supposed to be. So it has to be a deeper connection, because if not, you're not going to stay in it long. Because there's an option that we all have as entrepreneurs: make money or focus on my health. And one thing about that money's going to pay bills right then and there, but that health thing, it may not kick in until maybe a few months later or a few years later. So what we have to focus on is understanding what motivates us and also create a level of balance. And that's going to be really important. Balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so I'm a chemist. I mean, the audience knows that by now. You already knew that. But the brain is really life's original chemist. Like, the brain is the real MVP. So when you need something, it'll prescribe and send specific chemicals throughout your body. It's been well studied by science that our brain chemistry can have a powerful effect on our mental and emotional state. And our brain controls every cell in our body through whether chemical signals or electrical signals. I mean, did you want to touch on anything as far as natural body chemicals maybe throughout the body that are important to exercise or that we utilize during exercise and in life in general or just in our health?
Yeah. The most important thing is actually knowing and understanding the relationship that you have as an individual with your body. Because information is so broad that one recommendation for another person may not be good. But we do know the basics, though. The basics is going to be rest. The basics is going to be order. The basics is going to be time. The basics is going to be pretty much feeding your body. So if we think on it on Paris level, which is very deep. We think on that level, we have to go to something called circadian rhythm. Paris, are you familiar with circadian rhythm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's actually something that we all should really focus on, especially with our age group. Our age, as far as being millennials, we're all about, I can quote unquote say the grind. So we pretty much don't rest compared to how we should rest. Even on our off days on the weekend, I'm pretty sure we go. Secondly is light. We pretty much at nighttime, we have our phones in our face, right?
Yeah.
As soon as we go to have a light on, phone in our face, as soon as the phone goes off. So what has happened, we don't really have a relationship with our body. And it's sad to say, I was reading a study not too long ago that the relationship is actually with our phone and with our computers. Like, you ever left your phone at home before? And of course, you're frustrated about leaving your phone, but you still feel your phone vibrating in your pocket. Is that weird?
Yeah. Those phantom vibrations.
Yeah, you still feel it. Like, oh, you're reaching for your phone. Or another situation where, especially with the iPhone, someone else's phone rings, the first thing you do is go for your pocket, you don't have your phone.
Right.
So it's a relationship. So the relationship that we have is actually outside of us. So if you think about it on the level of just fitness and lifestyle and wellness, you have to get back and start from the beginning and get the relationship back with yourself. So I know we can get into the, endorphins, so and so and so. But what we want to really focus on is keep, like, on a basic level, kind of understanding the importance of just taking those things out and just focusing on what you have, just naturally have. And that's going to be really, really, before we do anything as far as food or anything like that.
Right. So what kind of benefits have been shown biologically or physiologically to have an impact on us through exercise?
The first thing is going to be metabolism. I know there's a cliche that we always say that the older we get, the slower our metabolism is.
Right.
But I always say the lazier you are, the worse your metabolism is going to be. And that just means just planning. A lot of that just comes with planning. Because most of the time we don't eat properly. When we do eat, we don't eat at a certain time that we really connect to. Or at the same time, when we do eat, it's not something that's going to be something that's going to actually help us structure our bodies on a molecular level or even on a physical level. So what we have to do is just sit down and just organize those things and just understand that once you put things in order, your metabolism will flow the way you need it to. So what I recommend when people start working out is just eating certain times of the day consistently and let your body understand what you're doing. So there's a relationship outside of just everything that's in general related to metabolism. Also going back to circadian rhythm, the more you have that connection with your body, your metabolism understands what you're doing, you can actually control it a lot more too. And that being male and female, maybe different for males and females. I know women a lot of times have an association with thyroid, but it varies from individual to individual. But you can kind of, once you start to get into a flow, you can kind of see what their body responds, what's going to be good and what's going to be bad. But as I mentioned before, it's all about order and time.
Right.
That order and time, that's the biggest thing for that.
So that kind of brings me, I guess, into sleep. So how important is sleep in our our health?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You can go ahead. Whatever you want to say.
That's all. So yes, sleep is very important. I know naturally we want to get 8 hours of sleep, But to be honest, who really gets 8 hours of sleep? Because even nowadays, they have things like Fitbit. They have, these Apple Watch can track your sleep. So when you're actually laying down with your eyes closed, you really don't rest. So what we have to understand is that, as I go back to what I mentioned before, order and time, it has to be a consistent level on a regular basis of trying to actually rest. When we actually sleep, our mind is still going. We're still flowing. We're tossing and we're turning. So we have to understand what we need to do before we go to sleep to prepare ourselves to rest. Right. And that's going to be really important too.
Right. I mean, something that I would encourage people to go out and read is a book called Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. I actually think it's a best-selling book out there, and he got a lot of research studies and stuff incorporated throughout the book that would give people a deeper understanding of how sleep definitely impacts like your body and your mental health.
Yes, I agree. I haven't read that, but I actually need to pick that up. Actually, when I was I think I saw that name before online maybe a week ago. I was actually studying it. Sean Stevenson, that rang a bell again, so that's actually very important to me. I need to read that book you mentioned.
Yeah, he actually has a podcast on iTunes also. It's called The Model Health Show, which is a pretty great show as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, we walk through the stores and we might walk into, say, GNC, and we see all these things on the shelves, like different amino acids. They might have glutamine, they might have whey protein, and whatever else they have or they're trying to sell you. But like, is there anything in there, like if we're walking through the store, that we should maybe try to focus on to help with either mental health or exercise recovery?
That's a good question, because that question actually relates to an individual that kind of knows what they're looking for, doesn't know what they're looking for.
Right.
And most don't know what they're looking for. So most of the time when you're at the store, they're going to try to sell you what they need to get the product sold.
Exactly.
But what I would recommend for anyone, though, is, especially for entrepreneurs, because we need to kind of go. We don't need to fight, quit on it. Is to kind of go a holistic route as much as possible. I know we have extra vitamins and nutrients that pretty much the body needs, amino acids, etc. But what I recommend is eating, building the body and just eating. Once and again, just eating. When I say eating, try to go the healthy route as much as possible. But when you actually go into stores like GNC or maybe Vitamin Shop, one thing about that, this can be kind of dangerous because, like I mentioned before, it's a case-by-case situation, because what Paris may be lacking as far as nutrients may be different from what I'm lacking.
Right.
But if we keep the level of just keeping it very basic from just working out, of course we know that carbohydrates are going to provide us energy. We know that protein is going to be for our recovery. We know that fat's going to pretty much sustain us. So if we understand those three things and we keep that line very strong, once we enter a store, we understand what we're actually eating within our diet, and that's what comes back again in order. Because if you don't really know what you're eating and taking your body, and you can be taking in too much. So what I would recommend for any individual that's looking to get serious in their health is to actually contact a doctor or contact a specialist to kind of understand what their body's lacking. Because you can that puts you in a situation to be very, very successful in the future.
And when you say eat, like you're just saying like trying to eat small meals, right? Just to kind of keep your metabolism going. Don't like eat to overstuff yourself like often throughout the day. Just kind of eat just enough to kind of satisfy your hunger.
Yes, you want to do that. I have a saying that you always want to shut your stomach up. And we do that though by just having that system in that order once again, but breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack, and people are like, man, I'm really busy. I really don't have time to eat. I don't have time to eat. But I tell everyone, if you have time to reach down in your pocket and grab something to eat. So what I recommend to a lot of my clients is keep it in your pocket and your purse. So when you get hungry, it can be fruit. It can be a bar. Make sure it's a healthy bar, not a lot of sugar and sodium. But you need to have something to feed you until you're able to sit down and pretty much eat what you need to eat. Because your body needs that to function. And one industry that's making millions and millions of dollars is coffee. Coffee. We love coffee. The thing we do when we get groggy, we say, man, I need some coffee. The first thing we want to do in the morning is say, man, I need to grab some coffee. The coffee is actually not natural. So I want you to focus on eating first and then seeing what coffee can do as far as your food. And you mentioned before about small meals. Yeah, that's important. But that's going to differ from an athlete to the natural person in fitness. So that's, I mentioned before, it's going to be a case-by-case situation.
Right.
So we can kind of see that person like Paris, for example. He's a very healthy person, so he won't need large meals. He'll need a system where he's actually taking in smaller meals throughout the day, and at night, maybe after 2 weeks, he can understand where his hunger hits him throughout the day. So he may be a person that gets really hungry before lunch, or really hungry between that lunchtime gap and that dinner gap. Or he may be a person that gets really hungry at night. And that's when we start to look and say, hey, he's getting hungry at this time. What are we not doing to pretty much prepare our bodies to be functional at this time of the day? Parents could be eating too much. Lunch could be too big. His dinner could be too small. It could be he's not taking in the right type of enough iron and enough nutrients. So we got to figure out exactly what's going to be his cue throughout the day to keep him going, keep him productive, and do things he needs to do. Right. And that's that case-by-case situation in every individual.
Right, right. Honestly, when we talk about eating and food and nutrition, my mind goes in all kind of different directions. Like, being from a chemistry standpoint, I think about like ghrelin when I'm getting hungry, like the ghrelin gremlin, or GLP-1 and the hormones that make you feel full and stuff like that. But I ain't gonna go too much into that for real. But let's see, where can we move on to? Let's see.
If you want to touch on that, you can, because I mean, if you can always get someone to say, I could do your own research. So do the boss. What you want to do?
Oh no, that's fine. But as long as people understand that there are chemical signals that are released to tell you when you're hungry, and just ghrelin just happens to be one of those chemical signals that's released. And actually, I believe, I can't remember if it's released from the gut or if it's released from like the hypothalamus. That part escapes me.
You're taking me back on my bowel school for 6 years. And that's one thing about my profession now. What I'm doing now is that I'm so deep now. I'm no longer studying the brain like I used to. I need to get back to that. But now it's all about muscles. So it's crazy. Like muscle, bone. Now my focus is corrective exercise. I'm dealing with corporate clients a lot more.
Right.
So I've totally got it. So anything you know, man, I'm happy to learn it also. I mean, I'll be for myself as an individual. So don't shy away from it. Okay.
Sounds good to me. Well, my actual chemistry research is actually, a part of it is focused on GLP-1 and like making modifications to GLP-1. So I know where that one's released, but I actually don't want to go too much into it. So I mean, I'll kind of go around to the topic of something else that I thought about while you were speaking about food, which is Goldilocks, actually. So Goldilocks and Three Bears, and how she had to find the right porridge, the right temperatures she could eat. Like, you need these amino acids, right, for building proteins, because proteins are made up of amino acids. And if you go into a place like GNC and you're picking up a big old bottle of glutamine or something because you think you need that to restore muscles after your exercise or strenuous exercise, balance is the key. Like, yes, amino acids are important for your body to function correctly, but there's also scientific evidence that too much or too many amino acids can be harmful to you. I mean, I think there was even something about hardening of arteries or something if you had too much. So I just want to stress the point that you definitely want to make sure you have a balance, and somewhere around exercise and eating properly, you need that balance just to make sure you stay healthy. But you don't want to overload yourself with too many supplements that you think you need because you read it in a magazine or you saw somebody else using it. Where they're at is different from where you might be. So,
I agree.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So a question that I do have is, how often is enough exercise to see the benefits from exercise?
So that is actually a really good question. Pretty much what I recommend is 30 minutes of activity a day. Based on statistics, that's what makes people successful as far as naturally being able to function daily. So, but for the individual that pretty much takes it going to go a more serious route, my biggest factor is time. One thing I don't want people to do is just try to just be in the gym every single day. If you're an entrepreneur, you don't have time to be in the gym every day, especially for an hour throughout. So what we have to do is systematically create or understand something that we can do for you as an individual so that while you're at the gym, you're maximizing your workouts. You're maximizing what you do. And that's why the food, as you mentioned before, the food element is so important for us because we don't have time to be in the gym for 2 hours. Our profession is not bodybuilding. We're not professional athletes. So what we need to focus on is our performances outside of the gym. Our performance is our job, and our job pretty much help us make money. So then that's going to be the key performance that we focus on weekly. So while you're in the gym, I would recommend you 45 minutes to an hour. Pick and choose. If you don't have a gym, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Because what happens at home is you plan to work out for an hour. You have television, you have couch, you have bed, you have calls coming in, you may have kids, you may have other things outside which you can control. So I would say a hard 30 minutes to 30 minutes. Of course, that's going to be it. I mean, I say case by case a lot, but it varies on injuries, it varies on different things, ailments, any issues. So I recommend 30 minutes at home. If you're in the gym, 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Keep your workouts as short as possible, but do them as much as possible.
So one thing that I actually kind of started doing, I work in a chemistry lab, so I kind of work at a laboratory hood space where I do like all the research, is one, when I'm walking back and forth between the lab hood and my actual desk, I try to stand up as much as possible when I'm actually working over there at my desk. And I actually started taking the stairs more. So I work on the 4th floor. So whenever possible, I try to take the stairs, like when I enter the building, when I leave the building, when I'm going just 1 or 2 floors below me. So how much of an impact do you think something as simple as changing from taking an elevator to the stairs will have on somebody's overall exercise or mental health?
I think that was heavy. Actually, I see it every single day. Being downtown Greenville in a corporate setting, I see it every day. And one thing about that is it's contagious. Because even though you may just be like, man, I'm going to take the stairs today, somebody's always watching. So you may take the stairs by yourself, but next week you may see somebody else taking the stairs too. So what that does, it actually increases the awareness in your office or your location or even your family. But on the individual aspect, what I recommend everyone to do, and I get nothing from this, but everyone, is just get a Fitbit, get some type of tracker. People are like, why Fitbit and trackers important? Because when you see numbers, those numbers put everything on another level. So when you're actually walking the stairs, you say, man, I only got maybe 5,000 steps a day or 4,000 steps a day. I only walked a mile a day. What that does is creates a system in your mind like, hey, I can beat that. I can do a little bit more. I can do a little bit more. And what that does after a while, it's not even anything different. It's something you naturally do. You may go to the mall and see the escalator and just walk the stairs. Right. You may just, that's what we want to incorporate, is shifting your lifestyle in general. Right. Just walking. And we know from a correct exercise standpoint, that sitting is horrible. It's an unnatural range of motion for us. It's an unnatural position that we're in, but sometimes in that position takes 10 hours a day. So getting up and walking and doing stairs and just walking outside or running or doing whatever, it just totally shifts your mind. It shifts your body throughout the day. One thing I recommend everyone to not do is be a cold person. When I say a cold person, that means all day your muscles are sitting dormant. And that can be kind of dangerous for you too once you go from a dormant level and then you go to the gym. You want to kind of keep your body as active as possible. And that's back to that natural, on a natural level as much as possible.
So that's actually a good transition into how important is warming up before exercise and cooling down after exercise?
It is actually very important. You always want to warm up. One thing that I actually push on most people is that your warm-up should be almost more difficult than your workout. People are like, why is that? I believe my background is more athletic. Some people that incorporate yoga, and there's different types of stretching. You have dynamic stretching, you have static stretching. I recommend that dynamic with movement. And static is going to be when you sit there and hold it maybe 30 to 45 seconds to a minute. So I recommend when you're doing anything, always dynamic. You want to activate your muscles. I believe in activation. Now, I think I mentioned before about your muscles being dormant. You want to activate them as much as possible. And most people that have really busy lifestyles, the first thing we do is do cardio, and the first thing we want to do is jump on the treadmill, right? Yeah. So what happens with that is that if you don't actually warm up in the process of jumping and running, that puts so much wear and tear on your muscles. That puts so much wear and tear on your joints. So we keep it on the basic level. So what I want you to do is focus on warming your body up and activating your body. Everything that you do, even in the morning, it just totally shocks your brain. That's what we need to do all the time.
shock your brain, shock your mind, shock it all the time as much as possible. And going back to the cooling down phase, I tell everybody this, cooling down is important. It's based on your time. If you have time to cool down, then good. If you don't have time to cool down, do what you need to do. But I would recommend throughout the week that you incorporate some time to actually stretch. It can be yoga, it can be tai chi, it can be different things to incorporate, just relaxing your mind and actually giving your muscles time to just flow and elongate. That's why, I mentioned before about sitting being dangerous because it shortens your hamstrings, et cetera, et cetera. We want to be sure that you're elongated and that you're active, and at the same time you can just flow. And that's why warming up should be aggressive, work out aggressive, cool down if you can, but don't forget throughout the week to do something to cool your muscles down and keep them going, and just flow on with life.
Honestly,
don't make too much of just don't make it too big.
Right. Honestly, something you said kind of resonated with me because it actually touched on something that I do or something that I'm doing wrong when I go to the gym. Because I know once I walk in, I maybe put my bag down. Like, first thing I do is go jump on a treadmill. Because honestly, I'm thinking, all right, I need to get my heart rate up real quick so I can get this workout in. So I go maybe run like a half mile to a mile just to get my heart rate up and start sweating. But I had never warmed up before because I was considering the treadmill my warm up.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something that I should maybe change a little bit? Like, should I be doing something else before I jump on that treadmill?
Yeah, I would recommend everyone. And the thing about the warm-up only takes 5 to 6 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. It does not take long. I would recommend everyone research and look up something called dynamic stretching. You can do it in your home. You can do it. If you actually do it at your office, you can do it at the gym. All you need is a little room. That's going to actually activate your muscles. Because what happens when you jump right on the treadmill, I'm going to give you an example, is that for one thing, I don't recommend a treadmill being the first thing to do anyway. But the first thing I want you to do is just actually get your hamstrings loosened up, get your quads loosened up, get your calves, get your shins, get all that loosened up before you run. Because what happens when you run, all that impact is hitting your muscles. Boom, 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 and boom, and boom, and boom. And since we're millennials, we want everything to be on a physical level. And what that warm up does, it actually activates your muscles, so that when you actually start to work out, your muscles already know what's going on. You want to tell your muscles what you're doing. If you go in the gym and don't tell them what you're doing, like, whoa, what's going on? This is not what we want to do right now, so we're going to do what we need to do to each other. You want to tell your body what to do. So when you get a chance, look up or research dynamic stretching. You can find it on YouTube, you can find it on Google, you can find it in books, anywhere. It's been around forever. Dynamic stretching. And what you may run into, I know right now, NBA, people watch basketball, football, or baseball. You see a lot of athletes doing it before games. It's like, oh, this is something that the trainer hasn't doing, but what they're doing, they're getting their muscles loosened up so it prevents injury. And that's the key thing I want you to focus on, preventing injury. Stretching does what? Dynamic stretching prevents injury. That's what we want, okay? Right. When you stretch before you squat, I guarantee you get deeper. When you stretch before you run, you have more successful runs. Okay, so I want you to focus on the stretching and having dynamic stretching so you can actually have a successful workout. And that's where it comes in, that dynamic stretching or stretching part. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. So appreciate that advice. So there's a lot of studies out there that show how exercise is important in mental health, clarity, focus, accomplishing tasks. Have you noticed that as well? Have you seen changes in people that you may work with as far as attitude changes? Because they get like a surge of endorphins released in their body or anything like that. Like, how do you feel about that?
I think it's very important because one thing about fitness and exercise is that we understand that once you complete it, you know you've completed it. I'm going to give you an example. When you're in school, high school, college, grad school, etc., when you're in school, you have certain tasks that you have to complete, right? And once you complete those tasks, it's like, man, it's something heavy that slips off you, right? You have exams, you have tests, you have homework, right? It's because you fully understand that, hey, I completed something. I completed something that I know I'm supposed to do, right? And we all know, even though we're busy, we know we're supposed to exercise. We know we're supposed to eat right, right? So what happens in the midst of us not doing those things, it's an issue. It's an internal issue that happens. Even people that don't really I don't really care about my health. But the moment you see someone on TV that's working out, or you see somebody in your neighborhood jogging, you're like, man, I should be jogging.
Right.
Or to take care of myself. So what that fitness does along is that it actually gets you in a position where you're completing something. Because you know, when you finish a workout, you finish the workout. When you went to the gym, I went to the gym. Right? When I'm at home working out, I worked out. Right? And the first thing people do when they get sore is that, man, I'm sore from the gym. Right? That's something that it just makes you feel so much better as an individual because you know I actually took care of myself. I didn't take care of my employees. I didn't take care of my family. I didn't take care of my wife. I didn't take care of my husband. I didn't take care of my kids. Right? I took care of myself. So that alone, if we keep it on a basic level, that alone creates a level of excitement, and it does appease the brain so much, and it makes us want to do it more if we can do it more. Yeah. So I'll let you actually speak on the molecular level related to endorphins. You can actually probably speak on that a lot deeper than I can.
No, I'm not going to go too much into that. But, I mean, I do see changes. And honestly, what you were just talking about as far as feeling sore after a workout and how that makes you feel like better about yourself and what you just did, sometimes actually people end up using that as an excuse like the next day to not do anything. So people are like, man, I'm so sore. I must have put in some work yesterday. I'm not even going to go out there today. Like, do you think?
I can understand that, and I totally can understand that. And that's when accountability steps in, and that's when coaching steps in,
right.
And that's when order and time steps in. Because what happens is, if I sit down on maybe Saturday or Sunday, and if I make my workout for the week, like, hey, I'm going to work my legs on Tuesday, and on Saturday, I'm just going to do cardio, and I'm going to actually stretch my legs. And one thing I put on my paper or put online that I have to stretch in the gym, right? What that does is it builds a culture within me, like, even on the days that I'm sore, I'm still going to the gym, right? And at the same time, on the order level, it lets me know that I'm sore today on my legs, but tomorrow I can work my upper body, right? So if I have a full body workout, I can do something different. So if you're sore, you're not going to go to the gym if you don't know what you're going to do. Most people walk in the gym do not know what to do.
Yeah.
So you're not, it's like window shopping. So it's like, if I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm just going to walk around and look, hey, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice. I wish I could do that, right? We don't want to do that. We want to have order. So you go to the gym, everything should be prepared for you. And that's where coaching and accountability comes in. And that's why it's very important. Because if you don't go to the gym, someone should mention to you, hey, man, you're supposed to be in the gym today. They don't disrespect you or put you down, but they say, hey, let's get you back in the gym today. Keep you going. Or you're sore, okay, if you're sore in this area, let's focus on stretching you out so you're not sore multiple days, and next week you're going to run into the same situation. Right. So it's different things that we need to focus on that level. But yeah.
Well, one other thing that I wanted to touch on today on this episode is the importance of staying hydrated. Like, not only in exercise, but maybe even just going throughout your day. Like, how does that impact us if we don't stay hydrated?
If you don't stay hydrated, it affects a lot of different things. One thing it can affect is how you properly digest your food. It can pretty much affect your skin. It can affect your rest. So one thing I would recommend is being hydrated. One thing we think about now, especially America, you have everything crap. The first thing you want to do as far as hydration is grab what? Gatorade. Yeah. A Coca-Cola, a Pepsi. And that number one thing is coffee. You got to think to yourself, are these things really properly hydrating? And the answer is no. No. So there's studies going on right now when we speak on hydration. Step back for a moment. Hydration, what really hydrates us? Right? When we think about water, we don't really understand if you go to the store that you have different levels of water, right? Like, man, I see distilled water, I see sparkling water, I see filtered water, right? I see all these different types of water. I see alkaline water. What type of water should I be drinking?
It's not all created equal.
Yeah, so and that's the biggest thing. And you know on a molecular level how water has life.
Right.
What happens is if we put the water in different levels, we take the life out of the water. But we know being holistic is the route we want to go and focusing on nutrition is that we want to do everything that we put in our body has to have life. Right? So if I go to the store and get distilled water, what benefit is distilled water going to give me? Exactly. What is spring water going to do for me? If I have it available, it's going to do a little bit, kind of hydrate me a little bit. But one thing I recommend for people, because we naturally are not hydrated properly anyway because we have soda and coffee. One thing I recommend for some people is something called alkaline water. Some people are against it, some people are for it. Some people say water is water. But, of course, we know being entrepreneurs that we have to be in peak. Because if we don't work, money's not being made, right? So what we want to do is make sure our bodies is at peak. So I would focus on something called alkaline water. People are like, what's alkaline water? If I go kind of deep really quick, the body has an acidic level and your body has an alkaline level, right? So with that being said, your body also has something called a pH level, right? pH level. So, Chris, what is the pH level for an individual? What's the pH level?
I'm guessing somewhere around 7.2, 7.2.
Yeah, 7.2, right? But I bet you can probably count on 3 people on your hands, 3 people that really have a 7.2 pH level. But even with everything being natural now, everyone's going the natural route because our bodies are so acidic. What happens when you do your best to try to hydrate your body with water, your body's still very acidic. And I don't want to speak against different names like, different companies, but certain waters, they're very acidic. Even water can be acidic. So what you want to focus on is alkalizing your body. I mentioned before about you having about a person having an acidic level and an alkaline level. Our objective, our goal is to be close as possible to our pH balance. What happens is we drink coffee. Well, I'm pretty sure most people drink coffee.
Yeah.
Okay? So coffee, is that considered acidic or is that alkaline?
Honestly, I wouldn't know. I think, I actually don't know.
Yeah, so if we think about that, we got to get back to the understanding of what the body naturally needs, right? So when I keep it very basic, most people, when I keep on alkalizing the body, keep it as much as possible, or keep it close as possible to being natural. So it's foreign. So we want to speak foreign and we want to speak acidity, okay? I'm just speaking on that level, foreign and acidity, okay? So just kind of keep those two close together. If you drink coffee, and that's the only thing you take in a day, that's not gonna make your body not alkalized because it doesn't have a what in it.
Base?
Hmm?
Are you thinking like base?
Yeah, it doesn't have a pH level. That's not really what's the pH level of you have water in it, but you know the chemical changes when it connects to that coffee, right?
Right.
So the pH level shifts in that water, right? So what we got to do is we actually in order for our bodies to get back to a level of the pH level 7.2 or alkaline, we have to take in something that's what has a pH level. And that pH level has to be equal to or more than what we naturally have. So I recommend like 7.2 to 8. So what I want you to incorporate is drinking alkaline water throughout the day. I'm going to get to that point. Because alkaline water has a pH level in it. And you got to think about this too. If we drink coffee, we know that doesn't have a strong pH level in it, right? So it's going to be kind of acidic if we think about it that way. And then we also have alkaline water that we know sure that it has a pH level. And we know the exact pH level because we see it on the bottle or we see it on the container. So between the two, what's going to be better for us throughout the day, you think?
Between water and coffee?
Between alkaline water and coffee.
Oh. I would choose the water hands down anyway. So I'm going to go with the alkaline water.
Yeah, the alkaline water because you want your body to be alkalized and you want your body to have a strong pH balance as much as possible. Because we mentioned before about hydration. We mentioned before about rest. Right. Because that's the natural order where your body should be in. And once what happens when you're taking different things in your body, it takes your body out of a certain order. So what that alkaline water does is push your body back and forth. So like how much alkaline water should I drink? Let's speak on the level of sodas. That's another relationship. Sodas are very what?
Acidic.
They're very acidic. They're very acidic. So you may have a pH level of 7.2, which is not really, but what happens if you drink that Coca-Cola, even a can, it may take your pH balance down to maybe a 5.3.
Definitely going to drop. You got that phosphoric acid all up and through that soda.
Yeah, so what do we think an individual needs to get back to the pH level or alkaline level? What do you think? How many bottles of water do you think alkaline?
So if you got like a 12-ounce can of soda and you drink that, if you drop maybe like a 6 or something, I say you need at least 2 or 3 bottles of maybe like 12-ounce bottles of water.
And I want you to think in your mind what the ratio of relationship is daily. So the person does that, drinks every single day. If they're not hydrating their body properly, they drink soda.
Yeah.
back to our point, they're never really going to get their pH level where it needs to be.
Right. Because
nobody's our body in danger. That's the danger point we really focus on. That's the danger of it.
Yeah.
Because what we focus on is the obesity level or, different things like that. But we need to focus on the acidity. I had a client not too long ago that walked in with a diet Pepsi. And I'm like, I don't take Pepsi name, but diet Pepsi. I'm like, why do you have diet Pepsi? He said, 0 calories. And I had this stump his hand like, hey, it's 0 calories. I understand it doesn't have calories. Don't focus on the calories. Focus on the acidity. Focus on the acidity. My objective is for you to be healthier, right? Not just lose weight, be healthier. What you're doing right now, you're actually dehydrating your body to a point. So I want you to actually throw that in the trash can. And I want you to do me a favor. I want you to drink more water. I actually say alkaline water, but drink more water. Whatever is acceptable, drink more water.
Yeah, honestly, I've never thought about the checking the acidity of different types of water at the grocery store and all that stuff, like the acidity of coffee. Because people know that caffeine is like a main ingredient in coffee, but they don't realize that that's not the only chemical in coffee.
That's it.
Like, I can't judge what the acidity of coffee is going to be based on caffeine alone because it's a mixture of stuff in there. So, I never really thought about it.
Yeah, and that's the basis. And that's why the industry is so strong. Because these things we don't really think about. You go to the store like, hey, I'm going to grab some water. I grab 24 packs of water, $24.99. Oh, it's water. But you can do that, but be sure that you incorporate things that are going to properly hydrate you. So I would do that. I would grab 24 packs. I also grab maybe 3 or 4 bottles of alkaline water. Okay? So keep your body. And they have studies now where alkaline water doesn't really make a difference, so on and so on. But for an individual that really wants to take advantage of their lifestyle, I would recommend alkaline water, because the studies that they have been trumped. Multiple studies have been trumped. Or I don't say trumped, they've been destroyed. Just that trump, but most of them have been just kind of broken down. They're not really being legit. So I want you to focus on just hydrating your body. People are like, what type of alkaline water do I drink? Anything with a pH level of 7.0 or 8.
Now,
okay?
Does it say that on the bottle?
Yeah, typically, yeah. You say it on the bottle. Yeah, most places that you go, it say it right on the bottle. And what's happening now, though, is that a lot of other companies outside the illicit industry are tapping in, and people are understanding this, so they're starting to create their own bottles. Like, you have companies that, hey, calcium, water full of minerals, full of calcium, these different things, and people with, they're low iron, they're starting to take these things in, like, oh, okay, so I'm actually getting myself to a level I need to be strong, but no, that's not right. It's a gimmick to a certain extent. If it doesn't properly say alkaline water, it's not going to be a benefit to you.
Yeah, I've seen water that has sodium bicarbonate or something incorporated into the water.
But we know that water has life.
Right.
And that shelf life of that water, who knows how long it's been. So we know for sure that shelf life has exceeded that so much. So this alkaline water is going to be the key.
Something people do that kind of kills me on the inside is they'll have like a bottle of water or something with water in it, and they'll sit it in the car and leave it in the car in like the hot sun and just let it sit there for a long time. I'm like, man, y'all growing microbes and stuff in this water.
Yep.
And then you gonna go back and drink that later, like nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and because that's very important. People don't realize that. People even sometimes leave food in the car.
Right. So
it's like, that's not the direction I'm going.
Right.
But that's why I'm glad people like, entrepreneurs like you that bring these things up so people can really understand and think outside the box. One thing about our profession is that we're focused on the grind, so all we want to do is focus on getting better in our profession, right? So what we focus on too is also just understanding the things that we naturally need, and your food has to be on point. Your hydration has to be on point. Your lifestyle has to be on point. So we can have you here longer, so you can actually see your business flourish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the important part of it.
Actually,
focus on the thing.
Something else just popped in my mind. So, as entrepreneurs, we're always on the go. Maybe we got a client that we're trying to get to right after the other, like back to back. Is there, and a lot of the times it's kind of, we eat what's in front of us when we're hungry. So I guess my question is, are there any types of healthy snacks that we can get from a store and just kind of have on us so that when we get hungry, we're not just going out to a fast food restaurant because it's fast, but we have like little snacks that are somewhat healthy with us that we can just reach for.
There's actually hundreds of snacks. The only thing about that, though, you have to be careful, is the sodium and the sugar.
Right.
Anything out there, most of the time, is going to have sodium. Anything that tastes really good is going to have sugar. So what I would recommend is fruit and berries. That's going to be your best friend. If you're like, man, I don't really have access to fruit and berries, and something quick. Places I would recommend, not places, but things I recommend, something like gluten-free. That way it keeps us safe. And people are like, hey, I don't believe in things being gluten-free. Low sugar and low sodium. Those things are going to be successful. And also, too, with bars that have more than 7 ingredients, don't buy it. And most of the time, you go in these places, like, I don't want to say the names, like Vitamin Shop. I'm not against these companies at all. But when you go in these places, you're going to see so many ingredients in these bars. So the best thing to do is actually going to be fruit.
Okay.
Fruit and berries is going to be your best friend. Also, too, what you can do, I recommend for a lot of people, especially for my weight loss clients, is that you actually prep a shake. And just sip on that shake throughout the day. Because what that's going to do is, instead of fluid base, it's going to fill you up. You think about it, you drink the entire shake. It might only do it for 30 to 45 minutes, but there may be 45 minutes to 10 clients. So it may just satisfy that for that while.
Right.
Okay? So what we need to do is focus on smoothies, shakes, incorporate those things through there to kind of keep us going and keep us flowing. Because the thing about a shake is you pack it and flow. And you know for sure the ingredients because you bought it. Once you sat down, hey, this is okay, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, you can also add your own ingredients so it can actually be tasteful for you without just a bunch of sodium and sugar.
Okay. So, is there any additional advice that you would want to give somebody who may not really know where to start with getting their life on track as far as exercise and getting the proper nutrition in life?
Yes. The first thing I would recommend with everyone doing, I know that people think that it's corny or it's old school, but when I say it, is that it starts in your home. You have to actually create something that's visible as soon as you walk in your door every single day. It can be right where you put your keys. It can be a reminder on your bathroom window when you after you have a shower, it just beams up, it's right there in your face. You need something to say, hey, let's get started today. Or whatever you need to say, you have a motto. It needs to be something small. It starts in your home because you need to see it every day. Let me give you an example. When you were a kid, it's not really prominent now. When you were a kid, what was one of the best restaurants or favorite restaurants that all kids wanted to go to?
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese, why?
Because of the pizza.
Yeah, because of the pizza and the visibility.
Right.
When you drove, you knew it. You don't know how to, kids don't know how to, some kids, they're young, 1 year old, they don't know how to read that. But when they see Chuck E. Cheese, the first thing they say is what? Chuck E. Cheese. First thing they say is McDonald's, or you go to a certain store, a certain car. They know for sure because they see it. You have to implant that in your brain first and foremost. Like, hey, I'm going to be active. And in the midst of that, you create a system. Like, hey, 1 day a week, I work out. 2 days a week, I work out. I'll walk during lunch, or I bring my lunch. Just certain things to incorporate being healthy. It doesn't have to always be in the gym.
Right.
So whatever your lifestyle permits. But I recommend starting in your home, something that you know for sure that you're going to see every single day.
Okay.
And also, too, what I recommend a lot of people to do, I know especially millennials, that are on social media so much, I recommend that you follow at least 4 to 5 fitness enthusiasts that you know for sure that you'll like. Because weekly, Monday and Tuesday, they're going to put a video up. Wednesday, so every single day you're going to see that video. You may get tired and delete it, or take, dislike them or whatever, but that's okay. But just follow them so you can actually see it every single day. Make sure information is good and make sure their relationship, connects with you. But just do that on social media. And trust me, nowadays it's not hard to do this. There's a billion people on social media in fitness industry.
Right.
But for sure you're going to pick up your phone and go on Facebook most of the time. For sure you're going to put your keys down when you walk in the house. So we know that for sure. Before you even buy a gym membership, make sure you have time to go to a gym. Don't buy a gym membership if you know you don't have time to go to a gym. I would recommend that you do something else like join a running club, or you can join something that may be online training, something that you know is going to keep you accountability that fits in your lifestyle. If you're living in an area where your gym is 30 minutes away, don't join the gym that's 30 minutes away. Because you're probably not going to go. Because what you're doing as an entrepreneur, we know how important our resources are. You're giving away resources. In 30 minutes, you're wasting time. So make sure it's close. Make sure it's something you can actually do in your home. So on and so on. And one thing about nowadays, this is the technology, we're in the technology era, you can go online, YouTube. You can do P90X. You know, I love P90X. I love the concept. Just do something to make sure it's safe and it fits you as an individual. Don't just force it. And that's the most important thing, I think. Or you can always follow me. You can always connect with me or connect with someone that has a similar philosophy as me as far as online training or, you know, coaching. Online training and coaching is important. Even if you join a gym, always get a coach. You don't have to walk up and get a personal trainer, but get a coach. It can be someone in your life that's working out already, that you know for sure that's fit. Get a coach, somebody to keep you accountable, and that's the most important thing, accountability.
Okay. That actually segments very well into what I was about to ask you next. But before we sign out, can you go ahead and tell the people where they can find out more about you, how they can get in touch with you through social media or email, whatever you want?
Yeah, you can actually contact. My name is Christopher J. Miller. If you look up online, Christopher, Mr. MFGP. That stands for my company name. Is going to be My Fit Game Plan. The association is smooth because people think about Fitbit and My Fitness Pal, so we go right in the middle so you never forget our name. And next, if you look for me on Instagram, it's going to be MFGP_wellness. It's going to be the same for Twitter. As far as Facebook, I recommend Twitter or also by email. My email is going to be myfitgameplan@gmail.com. The basic one, and I'll give you the company email once you connect to it. To avoid spam. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds great to me. Well, man, I want to thank you again for coming on and helping answer those questions about exercise and fitness and mental health and all that stuff. I appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. Any questions, man. If anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Anything I don't know, I have people in my network that can kind of find out. If you want to go deep on a molecular level, we have Paris.
Definitely, most definitely. So I hope that this podcast session has been helpful for somebody out there listening. Be sure to leave comments on what you like, what you dislike, if it has helped you in any way. Of course, if you got questions, you can also leave those down there in the comment section. Make sure you get on the email list and also leave a positive review on iTunes because those are extremely helpful. And I can't thank Chris enough for coming on this episode with me. So as always, I look forward to serving you in the next episode. And remember, build your dreams or somebody else will hire you to build theirs.
Thanks for listening to the Creative Entrepreneurs Podcast. Join us next time for more great insights. And don't forget to subscribe to the email list to get the latest information and updates.